Just pretend I'm asleep, okay? Completely bypassing the fact that I had to set up the camera, make sure kids don't starve, little things like that. I've been asleep the whole time because today I'm going to show you what it's like to get ready as an amputee. I'm going back to sleep now. Making the bed is really important to me because I like having a clean, happy place to come to at the end of the day. However, in our last place, I almost never made the bed because the room was too tight. I couldn't get around easily, and it was ridiculously hard to make the bed. I am spoiled in this new house that there is enough room for me to get around easily in the wheelchair. I don't remember making the bed being this much work when I had feet. It definitely feels like more of an effort. To help offset that added work, I've come up with an idea, novel concept, that good enough is good enough, and I've had to let some of that perfectionism slide. I got rid of the throw pillows and things like that that just added more work. Now we keep it simple. It doesn't have to look perfect. It just needs to be good enough. Rephrased, I'd rather have less fancy bedding that I can make instead of a prettier set of pillows and blankets that I don't make because it's too much effort in a wheelchair. I feel like that's a good concept even if you have both feet. Just saying. I can't reach as well when I'm low to the ground. That's why it looks awkward, because it is. I do feel like the bed frame gets in the way of making the bed, so there could be an argument made for getting rid of the bed frame, but we found this thing at a thrift store for like $100. They're super expensive usually, so we're keeping it. Besides, this bed frame, I can slingshot around. This is cool, watch. Whee! Fun fact. I used to sleep on this side of the bed, but there was a problem. After amputation, I switched to this side of the bed, so my short leg is on the inside. That way, if I'm half asleep and get up and phantom sensation tricks my groggy mind into thinking I still have 2 feet, instead of going splat, I'll have at least 1 foot solidly on the ground. Side note, this little pillow helps my hips. It also is a good neck pillow when I'm done sleeping. Fabulous. First thing in the morning, I like to read my scriptures. I used to be hardcore about reading hard copy books, but when you have mobility issues, it's so nice just to have everything on your phone. The bed is made, off to the exciting land of the bathroom. I say exciting because it holds several mobility challenges. It's worth noting that as a leg amputee, I still begin and end every day in a wheelchair. Whether or not I put on a leg depends on how my residual limb is doing. Today, I think I shall. Because guess what? Insurance finally covered a leg for me. I've only been fighting this since February. I'll show it to you in a bit. This bathroom has some amazing wallpaper from 1970. Prepare to feast your eyes. All right. This bathroom actually looks bigger on camera than it does in person. In person, I can barely get my wheelchair in here. It starts out wide enough for my chair, then it gets narrow. It's kind of a weird shape, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. Now, if you're able-bodied, you might not realize how difficult simple tasks are, like getting pants on, using the toilet, taking a shower. Let me clue you in. To use the bathroom. And sorry, we haven't finished installing the flooring, so we've got like most of the floor, but missing a bit by the toilet. Oh, we'll skip the part where I actually have to move pants up and down, shall we? But you know, it's the pants up and down part that really complicates life. In a minute, I'll put on some spats and I'll show you what I mean. Something that's made my life easier as an amputee is storing things where I actually use them. Think about it. Where do we usually put things like socks and underwear? In a closet. But where do we often change our underwear? Next to the shower. So my pro tip is, why not dedicate one bathroom drawer to your underwear? Sock. Makes sense. It's a lot easier. Trust me. I also need a door for this bathroom. Awkward.
The original door to this bathroom opened inward, which blocks the toilet for my wheelchair. Ow. I wish it had a sliding pocket door. Since it doesn't, I'll probably put in a sliding barn door or try flipping the hinges around so the standard door swings out. Taking showers on one leg is dangerous and a pain, because think about it, slippery wet floors, you can't hop on one leg. There's no graceful way to go about this, and every bathroom is set up differently, so some are easier than others. I'd say this one's kind of in between. It's not the best or the worst I've experienced, but definitely room for improvement. First off, I put my towel over the door before I take the shower, just so that it's easier to get dried off before I come out. Because here again, the more water that ends up on the floor, the more of a slip hazard it is. Also, look how cool this is. This is a hook for a pin lock liner, and after I wash it out overnight, I hang it there to dry. Pretty cool. Here's the part where I can't open the door. See, complicator is turned on. I need to install some grab bars, but in the meantime, the toilet actually is pretty useful because it's solid, it's strong, and it's not going to move. Other things, they could fall and you with it. So we're going to make use of the toilet as a transition point. I'll show you what I mean. So from wheelchair to toilet, it should be noted that this would be a lot harder without an extra foot. I also am lucky I have a knee. It's hard on my knees and my dignity, but I have to do a fair amount of crawling to get safely in and out of this particular shower. But once I'm in, I'm so lucky. It has a built-in bench. It's like doing yoga to take a shower. Here we go. And now we have created a slipping hazard. It's all wet and slippery now. The stakes just went up. Not the stakes, the danger just went up. How are we going to cope with it? So after drying off, I put the towel on the floor. Now I have something comfy and soft that absorbs the water, so I can crawl across it, feeling slightly less bad about having to crawl. It works. Showers are legit very tiring. Now we're back where we started, only soggier. This is the tricky part. The floor is slippery and so is my foot, so I'm very aware of the risk of falling. That little pivot I make with my foot to change angles to get from the shower back to my safe base, aka the toilet, makes me nervous. Here again, even if you don't actually need the toilet, it's a transition point, you know? So dry off in there, then once I'm here, get dressed, because remember, underwear drawer is right there. And also bring in the clothes I'm going to wear. Then, back at my wheelchair. Honestly, if you're able-bodied, you have no idea how luxurious your showering experience is compared to a wheelchair user. It's just so complicated and tiring. The days of relaxing hot showers, no, they're not relaxing, they're hard work. I call it amputee parkour because of how much you use the environment and push off stable objects to get where you need to go in a small space. You know, it's not as exciting as true parkour, but hey, it's what I've got. See that cupboard up there? That's not where I put my stuff because I'm down here. It makes way more sense to keep my stuff where I can reach it. So, you know, sometimes when you have a disability, or even if you don't, it's a good idea to question what we do automatically or culturally and think about what actually makes the most sense and is the most functional for me in my unique situation. For me, that means keeping underwear in the bathroom and other things close to where I can reach them in the areas I actually use them. It works. For example, even once I get around to putting a mirror up there where traditionally there would be one, that's not the easiest spot for me to use a mirror to put on makeup. This is. I can actually reach this mirror. It works so much better. So little changes make big differences. Now, why is one little hair flipped out the wrong way? Huh,
It's a rebel. Oh, and yeah, for those of you who've been around for a while, guess what? I chopped off my hair.
If you'd like to hear the story behind the chopping, I'll link it in the description. The last place I lived didn't have walk-in closets, which is fine, because, walk-in wasn't a thing for me then. I did find, however, I think having just like a standard shallow strip closet where you open the door, grab your stuff, that was fine. The problem is medium-sized closets where you have to go in to get the stuff, but there's not enough room to maneuver. Fortunately, I don't have that issue here. This closet's plenty big. It's more space than I actually need. Ta-da! But I can maneuver in there, which is great. But, it's also fine if you have a closet you don't have to go into. It works just fine. Just saying. See, that's a lot of closet. That could be a bedroom instead of a dresser. Since we have these built-in things, we'll just put baskets there and put PJs and stuff in there. Would it be nice to have a lower rod to hang my clothes on? Yes. Have I done it yet? No. Why? I'm tired. Okay? I'm so tired of fixing up this house. I just want to be done. I'm going to put on some jujitsu spats, then grab a pair of jeans and show you how annoyingly hard it is to get pants on. In case you're not an amputee and you haven't gotten the memo yet, pants are awful. You'll notice I'm OCD enough to line up my shoes and have them just so. So why do I have my leg turned 90 degrees? I'll show you. Put it here. Oh, now it didn't do it. It flops over easily. So I do it this way because it always tips that way, and there's a wall. Hey, it untipped. That was very considerate of it. I won't be putting that leg on just now, though. I'll tell you why in a second. All right, here we go. Out of the closet. Time to put on pants. If you've never tried putting on pants while standing on one leg, I cordially invite you to give it a go. Just don't break your neck.
Would this be significantly harder if you were a bilateral amputee, so no feet? Yes, it would be way harder. Would it also be harder if you had other health problems making it so you couldn't hold your balance there long enough to get your pants on? One leg in. Uh-oh. Yes. We have a problem. How do I get this one in? Am I grateful that I can stand up right now and do it? Yes. Keep in mind, this adds a layer of difficulty to the simple things like using the bathroom. Like, so many simple things are way harder than they used to be, and it culminates in an effect of making me very tired and everything's hard. It's really hot with these spats on under the pants. I'll be right back. Now that I'm fully clothed, let's go in the other room. What's that? You said I forgot something. No, I didn't. I purposely left off my leg. You know why? Because I need to get some work done on the computer. I definitely feel comfier if I'm just going to be sitting anyway to not have a leg on. Wheelchairs are made for sitting. Prosthetic legs are made for walking. Knowing which tool to use when makes a difference in comfort. So I'm going to go get some work done and we'll put the leg on later. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Next week's video just might be my favorite video yet. Like, hands down, or foot down. So subscribe. So if you are into amputee humor, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss it. I'm working hard on it. By the way, the Raven video is for you, Marissa, Adam, and Catherine. You know who you are.
Behind the camera lurk 3 children. Adding parenthood to a disability adds yet another layer of complexity.
I'll also show you how I make breakfast in a wheelchair. Because sometimes I have a leg on when I make breakfast, sometimes I don't. Let's get to it.
Okay, welcome to the kitchen.
Yes, it also is lacking a floor. I'm working on it. This is why I'm too tired to put rods in the closet.
If you'd like a house tour when I finally finish renovating, let me know in the comments. While you're down there, tell me, what's your morning routine like? What clever hacks do you have to get your day started off on the right foot? That's the only one I have left. Lefty's gone after all. I try to keep stuff where I can actually reach it in my wheelchair. I don't love having to reach across the stove to adjust the heat. I feel like I could get burned. I'd prefer it if controls were here, but work with what you got. Whilst waiting for this egg to cook, I have a deep thought. And I do realize this will be a novel idea for most Americans, but less is more. If I have a ton of furniture, it's harder to move around in a wheelchair. If I have a ton of pots and pans, then they can pile up in the sink. And so I found that minimizing what I have has been very useful from a disability perspective. And honestly, hi kid, I use the same few things over and over again in my daily life. By cutting out the stuff that I almost never used, it's not in my way. So, applies even if you have multiple limbs. Wait, I have multiple limbs. I have 3. See, it applies. Like I said, it applies. Breakfast time. I have a bad back. I can only handle so much wheelchair time in a day before I'm in a lot of pain. So it's time to get out of the wheelchair and put a leg on. Servant, fetch my leg. This one's obedient.
It was in here, actually.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to show the people how I put on my leg. You want to help?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is it sticky?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's how it sticks to my leg, because it's sticky.
Okay.
And it has a tickle pin.
Yep.
Okay, so I turn it inside out. I cut off my pant leg because women's pants tend to not have a ton of extra room where my prosthesis is. Buddy. Hey, I was just bragging about how obedient you are. Okay, so I put it in a zipper and I cut off the extra length, which is a thing I do from time to time. Limbs, pants, hair, you name it. Okay, so then I roll it on. There are different types of prosthetic liners. The kind I have is called a pin lock because it has a pin. Ta-da!
Now put on the sock.
Yeah, throughout the day, the size of my leg changes. The more it's compressed, the more volume is pushed out. So this helps pad up my leg. Plus, over the course of a few months or whatever, my leg will shrink. Even though this is a pretty new leg, newsflash, there have been some physical changes going on. Bless you. Since I started the insulin infusions. Hey, don't sneeze in my leg. That's gross. And so I still need some socks, even though the leg's pretty new. All right. Ta-da.
Follow me where they put it.
So that's how you get ready with me, an amputee. And now that I'm ready, I need to take care of this little guy. Subscribe and click the bell and all that fun stuff. And wish me luck. I'm Stefanina. Thank you for joining me on my amputee adventures. And if you forgot that I challenged you to try putting on pants while standing on one leg, consider this your reminder. Have fun.
They're gross.
Ew, they are gross.